Do you have like an intro?
Yeah,
Intro
well, I
jingle?
just do, I'll just do it and then we're in. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, it's me again. This is my friend Jace.
Hey, what's up?
He's a great guy. Do you want to drop your stuff?
Oh, sure. Uh, yeah, I'm Jace. I make like a little bit of goofy YouTube stuff. It's just sleep on it, one word underscore Thursday. Um, it's just a little bit of goofy. I do like challenge runs. Uh, yeah, different gaming challenges. I like to mix a lot of humor in there. Sometimes I make videos just talking about stuff that's very real, sprinkled throughout. I like to mix it up.
Yeah,
I don't really want to feel nailed down to one particular type of content, even if that would be optimal. I
yeah. Freedom is always better.
Yeah, exactly. It's just supposed to be fun, you know.
Yeah.
But I
Um,
appreciate it. I
for
appreciate you
sure.
having me.
Yeah. I really like his videos personally. I either watch them just when I want to or when a new one comes out, or I'm listening to them on my while I'm at work.
Oh,
So
well, thank you.
yeah, of
I'm
course.
flattered. I'm flattered.
I'm bad at managing my time after work, so sometimes it's easier to just hear what's going on. Um, but that's harder on your first two videos.
Hmm.
But just because they're really into the playthroughs, so.
Yeah. No, absolutely,
But
absolutely.
I should watch those
Uh,
on my own time.
no, don't
But
even worry, dude.
yeah, they're really good. He does a lot of cool editing stuff. That's something I want to learn how to do so I can, you know, try, a couple tricks from the master.
Oh,
But
respect to editors. Editing's hard.
yeah,
I don't know anything. I just opened up a program and just tried, just did my best. I do like to be able to see the increase in quality from video to video as I
mm,
figure out, like, oh, this is how you should set up filters on a mic. Oh, this is actually a better way to do cuts. Oh,
yeah,
this is, and everything is a journey. It's a learning
yeah,
process, and I like being able to see that. But huge respect to all the editors who go through like 8 hour VODs and chop it up into nice,
yeah.
clean videos, dude. Because it takes a while.
It's intimidating to say the least.
Oh, it is. It is.
It's a lot of time. Yeah, but yeah. Thanks. I I'm I've learned a lot from Jace, and it's really cool having a friend that knows a lot of stuff about technology and you know
Oh, thank you.
internet stuff and
I used to work
yeah.
in IT, so
It's
I did a lot of IT stuff.
a good place to have worked in.
Right.
Um, yeah. Sorry.
No,
Um,
don't be sorry.
yeah. I guess I should do some sort of follow up to my last video. Basically, I haven't been able to release the second half of that video because I am bad at technology. I'm so bad. It's my enemy. But I do want to do that eventually once I get it to work right. Um, and Jace has offered to help me with that too, which
Yeah, I gotta take a look at
so
that.
yeah,
I gotta take a
I'm
look at
sure it's
that.
very easy.
I don't know.
But yeah, so last week's video, I think I kind of touched on that. I'm not doing so much better than I was hoping. And I know it's like a long, slow road with struggling in life, you know? Um, but I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not doing so good,
Excuse me.
but you're good. But I'm hoping to do some things that will fix that this week. Hopefully, I actually do them. And I've been working on trying to come up with a good budget. So those are some good things. I made a breakthrough with music, so that's good. It's very good to find that you're having a frustrating problem and find the way to solve it. So, but now I have to re-record everything I did yesterday, which is
I'm sorry.
a struggle. Yeah.
Dude.
But I've also been getting some like I don't know, very foggy headed recently. So that doesn't help with the recording stuff cuz then I'm just letting all these ideas and thoughts come up at the same time and I can't figure out which one to work on first.
Yeah.
And then I'm also not starting them cuz they just never sound the way that they do in my head.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a little bit closer every time. So it's slow, but I'm going to get there.
Well, that's what matters, right? That
Yeah.
you're gonna get there. And I know that it's tricky. It's tricky saying, yeah, I know I'm gonna get there. I know everything will be fine eventually. I know. Because it can feel dismissive of how you're feeling in the moment. Because feelings of disillusionment, disheartenment, discouragement, those are very real.
Yeah.
Very real things. And yes, things will be okay. But it's also okay that right now they're not.
Yeah.
You're allowed to feel that. You're allowed to say, you know what, things are sucky right now. You're allowed to feel that. And that's okay to say. And that doesn't make you a Debbie Downer. In
Yeah.
fact, it makes you a realist.
Oh no, that's worse.
You're allowed to say that. You're allowed to
Yeah.
say, hey, dude, things suck right now. And feel that. Now, it's just a balance. Because you don't want to push off feeling what you're feeling.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you don't want to get so stuck in being down that you don't get out.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, no. I thought you were gonna speak.
No, I just am trying to acknowledge what you're saying as you're saying it.
I appreciate it.
Sorry.
No, no, no. Don't be sorry. I had a friend who he spoke to me once, and he said that a lot of things, a lot of emotions, need to just be like leaves in a river. That you need to watch. Maybe you don't want leaves in your river. Say your river's your life and leaves are all the problems and the debris and you want to clean out the river and you're trying to gather up all these twigs and leaves. But here's the thing. They're going to wash downriver and they will be gone eventually. All rivers lead to the ocean and it'll blow out into the ocean and your river will be clean. A lot of things just take time and patience. And you could get into the water and you could wade through out there and you could start picking up all the sticks. And now you're all wet and you got a bunch of sticks in your arms. And the effort is commendable, but some things just need time and patience. Now, some things need effort. Some things really do. When there's something that's stuck, when there's something that's big that needs to be moved that the river isn't going to carry away naturally, you got to get in there.
Yeah.
But a lot of things will solve themselves. And they will be okay. And you can feel hope in that. Not just like a I know it'll be okay eventually, but like no, it will be okay eventually. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
I am excited. Sorry. I wanted to say way earlier. I don't want to drag ADHD brain. I don't want to drag off the conversation from this. But
do you want to turn your?
Oh, am I? Oh, yeah.
Oh, we lost the.
Oh, the dude,
the vacuum.
The vacuum.
It has a place.
Yeah, it does.
Sorry.
No, I was grateful for your praise earlier at the beginning of the videos, and I wanted to say that I am excited to hear your music. Now, I am very blessed that I get to be your friend in real life, and I get to hear all the music that you haven't released, and this guy's incredible. This guy is actually incredible, and the biggest obstacle I think to getting his creations out there is just I and I don't mean this to undermine you in any way. I just think you don't believe in yourself enough.
Yeah.
You,
No,
you make incredible stuff.
is exactly what it
You make
is.
incredible music. I've listened to this man's music and wept because of just how real it is, how beautiful it is. It sounds incredible. He's got a great voice. Um, and more than that, the lyric, all of his lyrics are very meaningful and relatable. And I'm excited for it to be out there because I think there are going to be so many people that love it. And I, I just think you're too hard on yourself. That's all.
Thanks.
Really. So I'm excited to see it out there. Really. Anyway,
I
it'll get there.
appreciate that.
It'll get there.
Thanks. Yeah, that helped me a lot actually. Um, Obviously nothing ever fixes all my problems,
No.
but yeah, that helped. Um, yeah, uh, I think I've really been fighting myself for a long time, and like, because I have these ideas of what it sounds like in my head, but if I never get those out, it's better to get out something that is just, figured out.
Mm.
Like, I'm working with a friend to on this new song, Monkey, or If You Give a Monkey a Gun.
Yeah.
Basically about the harm um, of teaching your kids, or if you're a teacher, teaching the students you have, if you're a mentor for a job or a manager, your employees. Anytime like someone is treated with, you know, aggressive or, you know, or words that come from malice and from their own hurting, um, that's giving a gun to your child.
Mm.
And they either are going to use that on you or themselves.
Mm.
And it's like very kind of a dark song, but we're trying to give it a more funky feel.
Yeah.
So I invited him over and I just gave him the, basic idea that I had for a bass, and he just took it and ran with it and made something way cooler than I would have been able to have made.
Mm.
And it's given me a lot of inspiration for what that song is going to sound like and how it's going to be, and that I am overthinking. I don't need the most perfect recordings. They
Yeah.
create the character that becomes like the work of what I'm making.
100%.
Like, and I guess that goes for like your editing. Sorry, I kind of
No,
jumping
no.
all over the place, but
Hey, dude, you're good. It's all right to let things jump around.
yeah,
Really. There's no stress. Um, well, I mean, I'm really excited to hear that song. I've heard bits and pieces, but what you're describing is very real. Uh, People are very imperfect, and I think most people are very familiar with being lashed out at by
yeah,
somebody, whether that's parents or a girlfriend or a spouse or a boyfriend or a boss. It can be many, many different people in our lives that are significant, that those people don't know how to handle their own issues and their stresses, and
yeah,
that ends up being taken out on someone else. And that's not fair. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong, but you're very right in the sense that it gives them a gun, so to speak.
yeah,
Because,
metaphorically.
metaphorically, right. Because, I have the choice now. I've been lashed out at. I have this weapon, I have this anger, I have this hurt. And I can choose, I'm going to hit you with that. and we're just continuing this cycle of pain, and that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.
Now, in the same degree, you've and you mentioned using it on yourself, because I could take this and I could say this is a reason for me to hate myself. You know what? I am what they said. I am these terrible things that people have said, and I'm hitting myself with that. But there is a third option, but it's not it's not easy. It's not an easy option. Now, I'm a very religious man, but I I pray all the time. I pray every day for the ability to forgive people who will not ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be religious to develop this sort of skill, but it is a big thing in my life. But the ability to say, this hurt. I didn't deserve it. It was given to me unjustly. And I can let it go. I can set it down. I can let the river wash it away, to bring it back
Yeah.
to that metaphor. Now, maybe it's something really big, because some people have their whole lives ripped from them by strangers. Um, I was, there was a news story. A man recently passed away. Um, he was in a coma for 4 years, and he was put in that coma by a complete stranger on the street. This stranger was just angry and decided to punch a random dude for no reason. The guy got put into a
Dang.
coma and he died, right? And he went to prison for that. But this guy had his life ripped from him, and the family had their dad, their husband, because he had a wife and kids, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes really bad things happen to good people who don't deserve it, and that is a terrible reality of life.
Yeah.
And even if we don't deserve it, we still have the ability to choose for ourselves what to do with it and how to react to it and how to grow from
Yeah.
it. It doesn't mean that necessarily everything happens for a specific reason, but I think we can take anything and grow from it. I think we can take any amount of hurt and learn from it and grow from it. And that's not easy. In fact, it hurts a lot. It's really sucky. Um, but I think it's the best option. It might be the most difficult option, but I think it's the best option, because otherwise I'm just continuing a cycle of hurt on someone else
Yeah.
or myself. And we need peace. That's what we need. Uh, and we have very little. It feels like everything is so chaotic when it comes to news and government and everything.
Yeah.
We just need peace, and that's hard to make.
Yeah. It definitely is. Money makes it harder.
100%.
But yeah.
But it's and that doesn't mean allowing people to get away with things that are unjust, right? It but it also means not striking out in revenge.
Yeah.
There's a difference between justice and revenge, and there's a difference between mercy and allowing yourself to be stepped on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Those are all like my I take my songs and my writing very seriously. It's everything means a lot and it's been thought out. Um, and it represents something always. Um, and so having conversations about whatever the song is helps me figure out, where it's going.
Mm.
So, yeah. So there are things that we've talked about and that I'll talk about with other people as well as it's going throughout the writing, and that will all shape it.
Well, I do really like your writing. I mean, and I don't want to drop any spoilers, of course. Um, but you shared with me a song, and there's a portion of things that would normally be unwanted are things that you want. Uh, Things that people would normally throw away are things that you would keep.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. I mean, to me, it spoke about the ability to recognize the beautiful things in people that others might consider flaws. I mean, things like hurt, trauma, abuse, mistakes, maybe even things that they've done to hurt someone else and have attempted to fix. All of these things are not necessarily a part of an individual, but help form someone into what they are.
Yeah.
And in that sense, they are beautiful.
Yeah. It's all part of their like math equation
Yeah.
and what equals them. Yeah. And it's a very, it means a lot to me, that that song and that message, which is largely like the whole album kind of equates to that idea of like you're more than your mistakes and you're more than the things that you have to overcome. You're all of those things are getting you, they're creating your journey. That is like we all, I think everyone, I have a fun kind of a fun question to lead into.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of like in movies. Like we all watched movies and we wanted to be those characters and like have those lives. Or if you like read books, like that's why people read books
Mm.
is a lot of the time to like go to this place in their mind where life is this adventure. And I'm really a believer that our lives are tons of movies worth.
Mm.
And it just, they're different types of movies. Like you might have, you know, an angsty teen movie.
Mm.
You might have like a troublesome like kid movie, or you know, or like a tragedy,
Yeah.
or and then you might have like your Hallmark movie, which hopefully it's you're the good person in that. Um, I don't know, like there, like there's a lot of adventure in someone's life. And the best things in movies is when a character is forced to make a decision.
Mm.
And you know, like they're they have to confront something. Like that's the best part of every movie. So it's also, I guess it should be looked at that those things you have to overcome are the best part of your life.
Well, absolutely. I mean, a character isn't interesting in a story without conflict, without problems, without something that they have to
Yeah.
face. I mean, I mean, for instance, I think now this might get me some hate, but the classic idea of Superman, and he's got super strength and super speed and heat vision and he's perfect and he's
Yeah.
good looking and he's super strong and he has nothing he ever faces is truly a threat. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You know, unless there's some kryptonite involved. But like talking really early versions of Superman before that's even really an idea.
Yeah, he kind of just swooped in, saved people.
And you know, he can't die. He can't lose. He can't fail. He is Superman. And that and while there is a hero fantasy to that that some might find appealing, I think it also makes him a very boring character.
Yeah.
He doesn't grow from his issues because there is no issue to him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So, it, I guess, same thing I'm expressing. It is those problems that make a character interesting, that make us interesting, that make you and I interesting.
That make a song interesting.
Exactly.
Man, it all tied back in together. This beautiful circle.
You said you had a question that
Yeah.
you wanted to ask.
I was just gonna ask you, when you were a kid, um, what was the world that you most often, or even now, what's the world you most often daydreamed that you could be a part of? Just any part of that world.
Help me understand the question more. Do we
Okay.
mean like a fantasy, like
So
a fantasy world, or like a real world
yeah,
situation,
basically,
or
it's like this is kind of weird, but don't make fun of me for this. Um, I will occasionally, um, when I'm uh, when I'm at work and I hate doing my job, sometimes I'll just imagine that I'm. This is really stupid and silly,
no?
but I'll just imagine for a few moments that I'm on, like, a Star Wars Republic cruiser
Mm.
as a janitor clone because I'm defected, and I'm just, or an early cadet
Mm.
or something on a training vessel, and I'm just doing the same thing, cleaning a mirror, cleaning the bathroom, but all of a sudden it feels like, I'm part of this important world.
Mm.
But I think that's what kids do all the time.
Mm.
Like, it happened way more often when I was a kid. This is just when I'm, like, insanely bored out of my mind at work and thinking bad thoughts.
Mm.
But sort of like a safe space. But I'm also asking about, like, when you were a kid. Did you, I don't know, if you even remember when you would play, what would you pretend? What world would you pretend you were a part of?
Mm.
Difficult question and confusing, but
No. I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of layers to what you're asking. Because I mean, I'm just gathering my thoughts.
yeah, you're good. It's it's fun how, like, these simple questions you can turn into such a deep thing.
Well, and you know me. I kind of overthink everything.
Yeah, me
It,
too.
and sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good to be analytical and critical, and then sometimes it's like, no, dude, it's not that deep. It's not
Yeah.
that deep. Just go. Just work. Just go ahead.
So what's the not deep answer?
Oh, uh, not deep answer. If I'm just taking it very literal, uh, world I escaped to as a kid, I I liked to pretend that I was Sonic the Hedgehog. When I was like 5 and 6, I was just obsessed with Sonic. I thought he was so cool. He's super fast. He can run on water. He's faster than the speed of sound. And no matter what happened, he was faster and stronger and able to overcome whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't taste good. I warned you.
You
There
did
might
warn me.
there might still be, if
There
there's still
is,
some
yeah.
residue in it.
I'm gonna stir it
Um,
down here though.
It's some creatine. We were talking about creatine and how it's really quite good for you, and maybe we can talk about that after I.
Yeah.
Sorry, after we finish this little bit. I don't want
No. Also, is there a place to see how long it's been recording?
to. No.
Oh, fun. Dang.
I think
Um.
I think we've probably been yapping close to 45
Oh,
minutes.
it does at the bottom.
What is it at the bottom?
29:57.
Oh, Yeah, half an hour.
30 minutes. Nice. Okay.
I'm not super pressed for time, and of course,
No, I just don't want it to be too much over an hour.
oh, absolutely. I mean, when you cut out the blank space, I'm sure you'll lose 5-10 minutes of like blank space. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If you want to cut it, unless you just prefer to release just the raw footage.
Yeah, I don't super mind it. I think everyone could use a bit of pause every once in a while.
That's fair.
Yeah, this is I've said this before on here, but I make these assuming no one is going to watch them because I'm very small and very early. And it's very nice for anyone, like anyone who does watch it, I genuinely appreciate it. It means a lot. But yeah, I make these assuming no one will watch it, and the people who will watch it because they genuinely want to be a part of my journey and, appreciate the person that I am completely. Sort of like a super exclusive fan club.
I like that.
But yeah, so I don't mind the space.
I like that. Um, well, to provide a deeper answer, what I was really thinking was, I mean, the ability to escape from a situation in your mind is a skill in a sense. And all of us do that in different ways. Whether that's like literally imagining that we're somewhere else, or playing video games
Like
to
a
drown out
psychopath.
all the thoughts, or scrolling through social media and TikTok because I can't be alone with my thoughts, or turning to alcohol or drugs, or turning to, you know,
Woohoo!
all of these things are a form of distraction.
Yeah.
Now, there is there's a healthy level of escape to be had. Not all escape is bad, but it's when we're escaping from reality so much that we are no longer confronting what is real and solving problems in life,
Yeah.
then this has become detrimental. There's a difference between a break and ignoring it forever.
Yeah.
And that's I know that I spend way too much time going through like YouTube shorts and when I could be doing something else cuz straight up I'm it's just easier to turn off the brain, right? Um, but the second part of my answer was I think it will be really cool eventually. You know, when you're on stage and you're singing awesome songs and you get to go in an interview and you have millions of fans and you get to go and have an interview and say like, "Hey, no, dude, I worked at Walmart sweeping floors for years and worked on the things that I loved with all the spare time I had."
Yeah.
That's relatable because there are people. Everyone has dreams, and it makes you real. You know, you're not an industry plant. You're not someone who was born into wealth or fame, but you know what it's like to be rock bottom, $0, uh, in a situation where you feel alone, where you don't have friends, where you can't rely on family. There are so many people who go through that every day. And I mean, you and I go through that right now,
Yeah.
every day. And it will be incredible when there is an audience eventually to be able to say, hey, I'm just like you. I know how you feel. I know where you've been. And maybe it's not going to be one to one. Nothing ever will be. But
Right.
it's deeply relatable. And I think that's what's most important is that we're real people, not fabricated images. Just
Yeah.
not AI generated.
Yeah. Oh my. Screw AI. It's I'm getting freaked out by it genuinely. But
No.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I definitely think, you know, as far as the escaping I do goes, it's a lot this the one that seems the most weird is probably the healthiest one.
Mm,
Rather than me turning to drugs and alcohol, which is what I want to do
right.
when I'm going through stuff and trying to wanting to escape where I'm at. So,
Well, that's
yeah.
normal. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. And I think that's really important. I think there's a lot of stigma around uh, alcohol abuse, drug abuse. There's a lot of stigma that just says, "Oh, these people don't want to help themselves," and that's not true at all. Addiction is ultimately a result of an inability to cope with reality. So what's really needed is skills and connection. I think Alcohol Anonymous, there's a very big quote in that the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, but connection. There's nothing more powerful in fighting addiction, fighting loneliness, fighting reliance on social media or pornography or all like there are many, many substances
Yeah.
that people do rely on every day to get through the day. But what we're lacking is connection. And I think it's a big problem, especially in our generation, where we have more technology and more ability to be connected than ever, but you see that people our age are more introverted, are less
Yeah.
likely to talk to people in a public setting, are less likely to ask someone out in a public setting, are less likely to be in a relationship. Uh, and this is a really funny statistic. We have less sex than the generation before us. We have less,
Dang.
right? There every level of connection, from making friends to feeling like you have close friends to feeling like you have good connections with family to all of this, is at like an all-time low. And so we find other ways to fill the hole where connection should be. And
Yeah.
that's what the substances are. They take place of a deeper connection that we desire. And once again, I wish to emphasize that doesn't make people bad or weak or dumb. It makes people survivors.
Yeah.
You want to feel loved, feel connected. We desire that. And when we don't get that, we figure something else out. Because people are smart and people are adaptable. People want to grow and strive and survive. And so abuse of any substance to any degree is not an indication, in my mind, I don't believe it's an indication of weakness, but an indication of a desire to have connection and
Yeah.
love. That's what I think.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. Because for me, a lot of it comes from this feeling of purpose, in that I'm supposed to, like, music is not, with the way things have played out in my life, it doesn't feel like I chose music, it feels like music chose me.
Yeah.
And depending on what I do, it's a disrespect and a dishonoring of music.
Mm.
Music is this, it's this character in my mind
Mm.
that it has its own desires and its own, you know. it's not like rules to me, but it's just in the creating process, it will create whatever it's supposed to be if I don't fight it too much.
Hmm.
And but it can also be pretty intimidating and and scary.
Yeah.
But um,
I want to understand more about that. What makes it intimidating?
um, let's see. Well, feeling like I'm this protagonist fighting against this, you know, enemy, which is the enemy is, depression. It's failure. It's, I guess you could say failure just leads into the depression, but,
Yeah.
it's this sense that I have two choices. I either do comply with music and do what music wants and commit to it,
Mm.
or I choose to go away from music. And to me, choosing away from music, it's not it's not different than choosing to end things,
Mm.
It is failure.
Mm.
That's the worst case.
Yeah.
And I think life has just been pushing me, and music as well, have been pushing me into this place where I'm finally willing to say, okay, it is what it is. It will sound how it sounds. It will write how it writes. And I just need to make it and put it out. And that's intimidating because the reason I want to make everything the way it is in my brain and how perfect I feel like it can be is, partially this fear that even when I put it out, no one's gonna care.
Mm.
Like, and if they do, I have to do it again. And I want it to be better than the first time. And I think I know that it will be better because I will have made something and I learned along that way. But, you know, there's a lot of, you know, these songs want to be written the right way,
Mm.
which is a very complex battle between me and music.
Mm.
But what it really comes down to is, was this written believing that it will matter forever? Or was it written to matter now?
Mm.
And I think, unfortunately, that puts me in a position where I have to decide, will it matter immediately or will it matter for a long time?
Mm.
And start mattering a little later, maybe. Um, so I have reached the point where I just need to get this stuff down, write it, figure it out, release it. And I think I'm shaving down the list of requirements that I needed for this album,
Mm.
Sorry, I don't want to just talk forever.
No,
But
you're just fine. I
um,
asked you a question and you're elaborating.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong.
was there something more specific?
No, I wanted to. I mean, there are a couple things I wanted to comment on. I mean, I I understand very personally of doing something that you love and putting it out there, being afraid that it's going to be rejected. I think that's very real and is not limited to just you. I think everybody has that fear uh, to a degree, especially when it comes to chasing things that you truly care about, that truly
Yeah,
matter to you. Whether that's, hey, I've got a proposal for the boss at my company. hey, I've got this song that I want to write. Hey, I've got a YouTube video I want to make. Hey, I've got a movie. Hey, I've got anything that's creating, innovating, uh, breaking the norm and building something new. There's going to be fear. And sometimes it does take time, but that's also okay. I mean, for instance, there's a Twitch streamer that's been popping off recently, called Squeaks, and he's been streaming for 10 years, and he's only started to pop off in the last like two, and so it took him 10 years, but now it he was able to he was able to quit his normal job. I think he did banking before. He was able to quit his normal job. He makes content full time and he loves it.
Yeah.
And but when you think about it like that, 10 years seems like a really long time, but at the same time is not a huge chunk of life. Does that make sense? Like if we live to the average life expectancy of around like 75, 80, what's 10 years?
Yeah.
You know, if I have to spend 12% of my life trying to get my dream and then spending the rest of it in the dream, I think that's a good trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, that doesn't make it easy, but I think some perspective can help. I also think what you were saying about being able to trust what you create is a big thing. Because whenever I make a YouTube video, every time I make a cut or an edit or I pick a song, I'm like, oh, are people gonna like the song that I put in it? Are people gonna like how I cut this? Are people gonna think my joke is funny? And you have to just, and it's not this easy, but you just have to say screw it. I, you have to just say screw it and do what you want. Because here's the thing, why would you ever want to be famous pretending to be something you're not?
Yeah.
Why would you ever want to be famous or popular or loved in conforming to what you think people want rather than being yourself?
Yeah.
Because what the real dream is being yourself and people loving that. Because you don't have to act, you don't have to pretend, you don't have to do anything that you think anyone else wants you to do. You just do you.
Yeah.
And I mean that's the dream. I, we I and I truly believe that this constant doubt of self comes from the fact that we live in a world that's very fabricated. Everything is photoshopped, everything is edited, everything is tweaked, everything is auto-tuned. And being real is being real and authentic is standing out against what is normal.
Yeah.
So while it's not easy to just say screw it, you kind of just have to say screw it. You know what? And you even have to say screw it that I feel anxious about it because I did this. I know this is what I want to do. Even if I'm worried about it, it's what I want. And that's what's most important. I may have these doubts and these fears about it, but it's what I want. And it's how I want to make it. So screw the fear and screw what other people think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't. I hope that makes sense. I
No,
hope
it
what I'm
does.
saying there makes sense.
Yeah. Sorry, my head's just foggy right now, but
You're good.
yeah. Um yeah, I think that is where I'm getting at is it takes a long time for me to learn something after my brain starts learning it.
Mm.
Um so right now I think everything just keeps pushing me more into this box where, with enough pressure it's going to explode. And when it does, you know, I'm it's going to explode in the sense that I'm going to be making my songs and putting them out and committing to how they are.
Yeah, you know, I'd like to add on to your metaphor. You know how uh, a gun shoots, a cannon shoots, right?
Yeah.
Especially a gun, right? We had cannons, you know, big iron tubes. You set off an explosion, the pressure of the explosion shoots the ball that way. And we had this idea. You make really strong cylinder, opening in the cylinder, direct that pressure. Because when the powder is just sitting out in the open, if I just have the powder and I put a cannonball on top and I light the powder, the cannonball is not going anywhere. The
Yeah.
the explosion is not directed. Now gun takes it even further because a, a gun has a barrel with rifling.
Yeah.
And that rifling directs the gases not just in that direction, but it also causes the gases to spin. It puts a spin on the bolt, which allows it to fly true instead of meandering. That's why, if you ever see professional volleyball players, if they spin the ball and when they serve it, it flies very straight. But if there's no spin on the ball, and they call it a floater, it wiggles around in the air. It doesn't have a spin
Yeah.
to direct it. So pressure is a good thing, but it also needs to be directed. I think plans are super important. Now, and this is something that has been difficult for me to learn because I hated rules and I hated being told what to do. And when you think of them as rules and things that are holding you back from doing what you want, that is not, you will hate them. But in reality, rules and plans should be a structure for you to achieve what you want,
Yeah.
not something that's keeping you from doing what you want. So, you know, if you get raised with a really strict mentality of like, hey, uh, don't don't drink and do drugs and party, and well, now I want to more. It's you know, you tell someone don't press the button. I kind of want to press the button more.
Yeah.
Framing is super important. Saying no, no, no. I want to. I want to be able to direct my life healthily and not waste energy and time in things that are going to hurt me. And that's very different. Um, so if you ask me, I think I think more than just pressure. If I'm allowed to suggest, I think more than just pressure, my friend. I think you need a plan, and a plan helps you take steps in the direction you want.
Yeah.
Not rules, and it doesn't mean you're a failure if you fall short of certain goals, but just having the goals and working towards them provides a direction for the pressure and a direction for the energy rather than it just being a random explosion.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. And I've been trying to get more of a schedule with recording. And I have been making that progress. So I guess, we're just
That's
in the
good.
keep doing what we're doing age.
Well, and I'm a hypocrite because I have time scheduled for when I want to stream and record and edit, and I do not stick to my schedule, and it's something I'm working on.
Yeah.
It's especially how do I say? Especially when like I personally am coming out of somewhat of a rebellious era of life of striking out against the norm and not the norm, but feeling like my whole life felt driven by what was expected of me, and
Yeah.
I was crumbling under the pressure of expectations, and eventually I just said, not intentionally. It's not like I actively just said screw it, But eventually I did collapse, and I did a lot of things that I regret. My life fell apart in ways that I'm upset about. And so I just said, screw it, and became very self indulgent, became very selfish, very. Because I was, once again, to bring it all back, I was running away from those expectations.
Yeah.
But life shouldn't be driven by expectations or but what or expectations, obligations, what other people want. That should not be your motivator. What should be your motivator is what's in here and what you truly want and desire.
Yeah.
That's hard. It's hard to make that transition and to trust that transition and to, especially if you've lived your whole life with that extrinsic motivation. These expectations, this is extrinsic, it's outside of myself.
Yeah.
If my way of living has always been fueled by this, it's really hard to learn how to fuel it with what's in here, with this intrinsic
Yeah.
desire. It's hard. It's something I'm still trying to figure out. So if you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah. Man, we talked about a lot of good stuff. I've been getting some more ideas for what I want for the album covers
Yeah.
of things. So, yeah, it's just talking about stuff has helped me a lot. And I appreciate you being here to talk about it, especially on a podcast.
Of course.
And hopefully, some of this stuff is helpful to other people too. This is a much more, I mean, all of mine have been pretty seriously toned.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this one, there's some good nuggets in here.
I mean, I think reality is that what we are going through is not strange or uncommon, especially amongst our generation.
Yeah.
I think we're just normal dudes talking about normal dude stuff. And I think there are way too many people in the world that don't have a friend to just yap with like this. And
Yeah.
I, I think there is at least one person who who will feel heard because of because of this.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. And I hope that, someday I do make music work and I am successful with it. And
Of course.
obviously my music is about my life, and these topics are my life.
Yeah.
They're very core to me, and I can be fun. But working on this serious stuff makes me stay in those very serious places. So it's just exhausting, but I think, I've always wanted to be able to look at my heroes and my inspirations, especially music wise, you know, get looks at them for their first albums. Or what were they thinking about? What were they going through? Like, what were they like? And so I've done this, which is hopefully will be that for my fans and the people that resonate with my music.
Well, I think that's awesome. I mean, how cool would it be if, 5, 10 years from now, like, there's some, there's some, like, 16, 17-year-old dude in high school. He loves your music, and, and he finds this recording.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy crap, this is my favorite artist in the whole world. And this is him, like, before it all, at the beginning of it all. Just right there. And
Yeah.
because it makes you human. It makes you human. And I think that's freaking awesome.
Thanks. Yeah. I I really want that. That'd be really cool. And I believe that that is the outcome
Yeah.
that happens if I choose this. And I have been choosing it every day. So
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah. And it is a choice that I'm confronted with all the time. Is give up or keep going. And I always do choose to keep going. But yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. But it is that daily decision that matters.
Yeah.
And that is what will make your success. I mean, and I'll glaze your music all day. I I think you make fantastic stuff.
Thanks.
I personally believe that your success in music is inevitable because you make good stuff. What you write is wonderful, and people people will love it. I already love it, and I mean, think of it this way. Let's say that only 1 in a million people that listen to your music like it. 1 in a million, right? Well, there is 7 billion people on the planet, and that's 1,000 fans, right? But it's likely going to be at a much higher rate than 1 in a million. In fact,
Yeah.
everybody I know who you've shown your music to has really enjoyed it. So, to give a more realistic number, even if it's even if it's 1 in 1,000 people, we've now stepped up from uh, 1,000 1,000 fans on the planet to like 100,000. You
Yeah.
know, and 100,000 fans, that's a lot. I think I did that math wrong. No, that's 1 million fans. Sorry. Yeah, that's 1 million people. Uh, if only 1 in 1,000 people that you show your music to, if you showed it to everyone in the world, that's like 1 million people who love it. I think. I think I'm bad at math.
maybe you need more creatine.
No, that would be 7 million people. Sorry. I do need more creatine. I am a big believer in creatine. I think it's really good for you. Creatine monohydrate uh, helps with brain function, helps with
Yeah.
all sorts. It's really good for you. Um, I believe in it. Just a little natural supplement you can add into your life to make things better.
Yeah. And we're actually sponsored. Just kidding.
Imagine we had a sponsor day one. That would be crazy.
Oh, wouldn't that be?
Wouldn't that be nuts? Technically, no, I don't. I have a buddy who owns an LLC. I could just ask him if he would sponsor us.
That'd be cool.
Wouldn't that be funny?
It'd be funny.
But he doesn't do anything with it. It's just like a shell account to he's like a business major, so
Okay.
he's created an LLC for a project in the future.
Oh, gotcha.
But technically he's a company.
That's funny.
Right? He is
sick.
the CEO and only employee of his company. But
Dope.
no, it's funny.
So it's a super important company, and we need this opportunity.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah. No. I don't know where to go from here, I guess. We talked about a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess is there anything that, you know, you've been going through recently that you want to talk about? Or if not, I'm trying to think of something else that went on during my week.
Mm, I think, I mean, yeah, I've been going through some tough stuff, and you know a lot about it.
Yeah.
And while I don't particularly desire to dive too deep into a lot of details, there's life is very complicated, and sometimes you can do your very best and love somebody with all of your heart, and give everything,
Yeah.
and and it's not enough. But the lesson I've had to learn is that I wasn't enough for them. But that's not my fault. And I thought it was my fault. I took it as my fault. And I blamed myself a lot for that. If only I could have been more, done more. But I know I gave everything I had and didn't receive the I didn't receive the same love, effort, and mercy back. Sometimes life is like that.
Yeah.
And the most important characteristic in someone who will be your partner for forever is that they choose you back. Love is a choice. Everything's a choice. That's love. That's making music. Choosing to succeed. Choosing to rise above weaknesses, addiction. Choosing to rise above just wanting to settle into mediocrity and choosing to not try. All of these things are choices, and they are choices you need to make actively every day. Because I too often just shut the brain off and let whatever happens happens
Yeah.
and just go throughout my day like a zombie, not thinking. And because it's easy to avoid what hurts that way.
Right.
But that doesn't bring happiness. It's comfortable. It's comfortable
Yeah.
and it's easy, but it's not happy. So that's what I've been trying to learn is how to rise above my own weakness, rise above the desire to just sit in zombie mode and truly shoot for what I believe and for what I want. And it's really hard. It's really, really hard. And some days I get it, but most days I don't. You know,
Yeah.
I'm probably hitting one out of every 5, 6 days that I actually feel like I accomplished what I wanted. And that number will go up. This is a skill. This is something that takes practice and effort and time.
Yeah.
And I am so obsessed with wanting to be perfect now and to be like you watched Avatar the Last Airbender?
Oh yeah. I love that show.
Because I mean, the whole story begins with Aang being faced with the fact that he's gonna be the Avatar and he's not ready for it. He's terrified and he runs away. That's a huge responsibility for a child. And thing is, a lot of us are like Aang, and we have our dreams. We have our calling, we have our desires, right? We have our prophecy that we're going to be the Avatar. And
Yeah.
and that's intimidating. And it's easier to run away. He didn't start as a master of all the elements, and he didn't start as a master over his own emotions. But he had a good heart, and even though he starts the story by running away, he didn't end the story running away. He never gave up.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he didn't compromise. He didn't compromise himself or his dreams or his desires in his attempt to make his calling come true. He refuses to kill Ozai, right? He refuses to do so, even though every avatar is saying, you gotta do it. You
Yeah.
have to do it, and he refuses. There must be some other way. And because it's, well, once again, talking about authenticity to bring it all back, it's really easy to compromise and to
Right.
be fake, to be something else, to be this fabricated version of something that you think people will like. But that doesn't bring happiness, and that doesn't bring completion. That doesn't bring what you want. Don't compromise your dreams. Don't
Right.
give up. Work hard, believe in yourself, and don't do it alone. Aang couldn't have done what he did without his friends.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Sokka and Katara and Toph and all of the masters he meets along the way and all the people that help along the way and Zuko's an awesome story in and of itself. I won't
Yeah.
tangent to that, but uh, all of his friends play a critical part in him truly becoming the Avatar. Because he was the Avatar, but to become the Avatar, to fully fill those shoes and accomplish that destiny and to bring peace and balance, uh, he needed his friends. That's not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's a sign of wisdom. I don't, I personally don't believe we are meant to go through this life alone to any degree.
Yeah.
We need friends. We need family. We need loved ones. Now, we don't get to pick our family, and sometimes we get a really crappy hand in life. And sometimes you get to fix those things, sometimes you don't. But you do get to pick your friends. And
Yeah.
you need them. We all do. I've gone all over the place with this Aang metaphor, but
You're good.
I hope the general point gets across.
Everyone likes Avatar, so
Yeah.
everyone who's watching this, hopefully, if you don't, and you're watching this, I don't know, change your ways.
If you haven't watched Avatar, I mean, do it. I guess huge spoilers, unfortunately. I've spoiled a lot for you, but.
I don't know that you really have.
No. I think. But I think that. I mean, if there's to be any takeaways from the episode, what do you think those should be?
Um, I don't know. I would say one of the ones that I liked that I don't know if it really came from, it wasn't necessarily a big focus, but, you know, choose good friends and be open to meeting people and making friends. We can't be too closed off from outside, like, perspective. Um, Creatine is good for you. um, and I think largely keep trying at what you're passionate about, whatever that is for whoever's watching at whatever point in time. Um, you've got something that other people don't have in the way that you have it, and you gotta make sure you pay your appreciation to that and put the time in and polish it out. So I think that's a pretty good place.
I like that.
So
Don't give up. You matter. Uh, be patient.
yeah,
Things take time. Time and effort. Consistency. Don't let, uh, I guess, you get to the peak of Everest one step at a time. If you just tried to jump to the top, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do all the time. I just want to yump, be there. But that's not how it works. It takes training, it takes time, it takes one step to get to the peak. And
Yeah.
you will get to the peak. Every step matters in that journey.
Yeah. Enjoy the journey and enjoy the setbacks.
Exactly.
And figure out what you're supposed to learn from them.
I think for me personally, it's learning to not be angry that I'm not at the peak yet. Because I get really frustrated
Yeah.
in just wanting, like, I want it now. I want to be there now. I want things to be good and okay now. I want to not be broke now.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen right now.
Yeah, and we don't have that control.
No, I don't have a genie to make a wish on.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Then it would be nice.
That's a good topic for next
Until it's
episode.
until you get a crazy twist, I wish for $1 billion and you get $1 billion, like it's like above you and you get crushed under $1 billion. They
Yeah,
got a
hopefully
twist on
there's not some twist,
it.
nasty
There's
genie.
always
Hopefully we get a good genie.
there's always a twist, dude.
Is there like a genie Yelp?
It's like their job, I think. It's like a whole part of the. It's like the whole thing is about. I mean, I believe the idea behind genies is also to there. A lot of them have stories to bring attention to the hubris of man, to the like selfishness. To call out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm yapping.
Who
I
gave
don't know
him
where
that?
I'm going with that.
Who gave him that job?
I don't know. It's a funny story.
Right.
It's a funny story in general. I think. Man, I could yap. I'm not gonna yap.
You're good. You're good. Yeah. We'll maybe the next time you see me and Jace on here, we'll talk about genies. We'll do our research
Tune
on
in
them.
next time for the genie episode.
Yeah. Thanks for
Imagine.
watching.